Hello everybody, so I'm going to show you today how to cut patterns for various necklines. So I'm only going to be working to the waist, so I've got a front and a back to the waist, and I've got my various designs to show you. So we're going to do a series of 6 designs, starting off with a princess bodice. So across the bust, and with your 2 style lines down the front, and at the back the style lines would be the same. So the first part to this one is to join the darts up and then decide whereabouts you want your curve to fall. So you've got your bust line, and then 4 centimeters above there, you've got your chest line. So then you can work out that you don't actually want it lower than your chest line, because your chest line is your upper bust line. So unless you want cleavage being revealed, I would keep it above your chest line. So I'm just going to draw a nice curve across. Remember, you're the designer, so it is up to you. I'm just going to close this dart so I can see how it's going to curve through. Yeah. Go on then, go see. So I'm just going to close that together so I can see where my line is coming to, so that I can finish drawing in my curve. So I'm going to curve it up and around. So I know that now when I close my dart, that'll all be smooth. So I'm just going to curve it a bit more now. I'm keeping the center front straight so it doesn't come to a point. So I'm coming from the center front, I'm keeping that straight and coming out, and then curving round. Now, I don't want the shaping under the arm to sit like that. So I don't want the underarm shaping and then it to come round. I want that to all go into one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth that off from the underarm point and up into that dart that I have, that section that I've drawn there. So now I've joined my darts together, which is going to give me the style lines that I want. So I'm suppressing the darts into the style line. I've drawn where I need, and then the back, so the back for the design would be pretty much the same, but rather than curving up high, it would curve down lower, and I would incorporate then my darts within the style line, and I would have my fastening down the center of the back. So it is going to curve down or straight across to give that illusion. So I'm going to go from my underarm point again, and I'm going to take that across, and then I can either leave it as a straight line or I can dip it slightly, which I'm going to do. So I'm from the center back, keeping it straight, coming out from the center back so that you don't get a point that comes in like that, or it doesn't come in like that. It's nice and straight. And then I'm just going to curve that back up to the line there. So that is my shaping. My darts are incorporated. So I'm just going to take that up and make that into a style line. So then I'll have the back will be cut 2 on the straight grain. And then the back side will also be cut 2. And then the front side will be, just check that that's parallel to the center front. So then that side panel will also be cut 2, and then the front will be cut on the fold. So all those markings. So obviously I don't need any of this section up at the top. My actual design starts from these lines. So I'm just going to cut and separate the pieces now. So you've now got your front pieces, so that's your centre front there. And then you have got your back pieces. So you give you that front and back. There you go. That's that one. So the next one that I'm going to show you is really similar to this one. However, you've got that sweetheart neckline on there. So we're looking at the same process because we've got the style lines down the front. So I'm going to move that out. So that's what it looks like. Princess. Sweetheart, not princess. I'm going to join up my, just to figure out where my chest line and my bust lines are. So again, on this design, it'll be the same as the other one. So it'll curve down at the back, keeping it simple. Zip fastening down the middle, and then the style lines in there as well. So it'll dip at the back, and then sweetheart at the front. Have you eaten it all? More? Yeah, okay. Go take it in the kitchen. So I'm going to join up to make my darts into a style line, which I've just done. And then I don't want it any lower than this point. However, the heart, princess, sweetheart could come from this point. So your sweetheart can actually come from this point and come up and around, similar to the last one. So I'm going to cut again the dart, and it doesn't matter which side you're cutting it from. And that's just to give us an idea of that shaping around the bust. So I'm going to keep it in place, and I'm going to come up so I'm not quite sure yet, that's why I'm drawing a couple of lines just to give it, just so I can see. So I might just take it a little bit lower there, give it more of a plunging line into. So then now that's giving you the effect. So I'm just going to go back over those lines a bit harder. So that's my front. I'm happy with that line. And the back again, I'm going to drop it slightly, coming straight from the centre back, and then smoothing it up. And you can use your curve if you want to. If you're happy to draw it freehand, then you can. So then the next part, we now draw in again the grain lines. So we've got the centre back, we'll have cut 2 there. We'll have the side on the back, cut 2, and then across at the other side, on the front side, the front side, we will also be cutting 2. And then the center front, we will cut on the fold. So when this is actually opened out and mirrored, you'll get that sweetheart effect on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all my pieces now. So if we just mark on center front, so we've got the center front, we've got a front side panel, we've got the side back panel and the center back panel, which will give us the same effect as the design there. So that's that one completed. So I've got a few more to show you. So the next design is just a simple round neck. So the darts are moved. So I'll move the dart into the new position. So from the armhole, you're going to move the dart into the armhole and draw it. So I'll bring the design back in a second. So simple round neck. Now you already have a round neck, however, it's very high up to the base of your neck. So all I'm going to do is drop it down ever so slightly to make it that a little bit more comfortable. So you just finish moving the dart. So I'm going to straighten that shoulder up and then work onto the front. And my armhole, I'll just come back to that bit in a second. Just cut around the edge here. So move the dart into the armhole. So I'm just going to put that back in to bring my apex of my dart back 2 centimeters. Now I've not gone all the way because I'm going to be cutting back into it anyway. I just want to get the bust point right. And so I'm going to then join up my darts and make that into a style line. So for the neckline, all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it. So I'm going to drop it by just a couple of centimeters. So that would be the equivalent of 2. Now I'm not going to take it off the shoulder much more. So 2 at the front, and then we're just going to go 1 at the side, and then I'm going to draw in the new neckline. So again, keeping it straight on the center front to come out, and then bring it round to curve. So it's just dropped slightly. If you're happy with the neckline right on the base of the neck, then you can just keep your original line. But if you do want to drop it, then that's all you need to do. So we've got the front. I'm just going to leave it there so I can get the back up to the point where we can match it up. So I'm going to ignore this shoulder dart because we've we've changed the patterns since. So I'm just going to match the front and the back up and reshape that armhole. So ignore that dart there. And then I'm going to draw my style line into my armhole. So I'm going to go 2/3 up. So I'm going to go up slightly and then curve it round. So I've got my style line into the armhole on the back also. And then my neck, I'm going to only drop it down 1 centimetre on that back because I don't want it to come any further down. So the shaping around the back, keep it equal all the way around. So I'm going to draw in my new neckline. Now if you're happy, again, if you're happy for your neckline to stay right on the base of your neck, if you like it tight to your neck, then you can just keep your original. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to match my shoulders up to make sure that my necklines are coming from the right place. So when I cut everything away, all that neckline and shoulder line will be smooth. So now I can go ahead and cut that front. So you've got your centre front and all the way back to your centre back. So your centre front would be cut on the fold. So cut on fold, and then the, oh, it's not come away. Put the dart away. And then your side panel would be then cut 2. That's your front and your back. I'm just shortening these terms so it's quicker. You don't have to. I wouldn't advise it. And then centre back panel is cut 2, and then the side panel would also be cut 2. So there you have your design for the round neck. So we've dropped it ever so slightly. So the secondary one on this page is a V-neck. So we'll just keep the darts in here. So we'll transfer the shoulder darts into the bottom. So I'll just grab my pattern pieces. So we'll start off with the V-neck. So depending on how deep you want your V-neck to go is up to you. So we'll just, again, draw in those lines for your bust and your chest. So that's your bust and your chest. And then you'll know how low you want to drop it. Bearing in mind, this is your full bust point, and then this is your high bust point. So you could have your V come anywhere in between those, depending on the style that you was going for. So I'm going to keep it a little bit higher. We'll go about there. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and come down as a V. Because I don't want it to cut across my neck. I want to follow the area down first to where the collarbone sits, and then to come in as a V. So I'm going to go with that first one that I drew because it sat quite nice. So there, and then across and down. So that's giving me that V-neck shape. Now with the design, I was going to close the shoulder dart also and move it into the dart at the bottom. So I've just cut straight through. I'm going to close the dart up. And that's transferred the dart, the fullness of the dart, into the bottom of the design, which will then become a larger dart. So I'm just going to true the dart back up by measuring back from the nipple point 2 centimeters. Get my ruler, find the middle point of the dart, measure back 2 centimeters, and then redraw my new dart, going back to the original waist dart as well. So it's a wider dart this time. And then if we can successfully fold it so we can get the shape that will be created on the base of the dart. So to do that, we just need to fold it and then cut along . And open that out. So that's transferred the fullness into the shoulder. Now this is all one piece, so we still cut to the center front. So we're going to be on the fold. So cut on the fold, so that's going to come across, taking it up a little bit high there. So ignore that bit. So that'll be the center front, and that'll be cut on the fold. And obviously then when it comes back out, we'll get a nice V shape when it's mirrored. So that'll be cut on the fold, and that's the front piece. And so the back just stays as it is already. So we're just having a plain back using the darts. So we'll just reshape this shoulder as we're not having the darts in there. So I'm just going to draw around and reshape the armhole, get rid of the dart, and cut that then into shape. this design, I'm going to have the back open, so it would be cut 2 with the straight grain, and I am using that dart, so all I need to do now is cut around the front, cut that V-neck, and then up to the shoulder, straighten that bit off due to the print out. So then you've got your V-neck design with darts, and then you've got your front and back V-neck with darts. So the next design I'm going to show you is a wide neck or boat neck. There's several different names for a lot of the different necklines. So this one is slightly wider, cuts into your shoulder slightly. However, the first thing that we need to do is move the darts into the style lines. Just change this camera, it's not very happy. So that's what I'm going to start with first. So I'm just going to separate the pieces. I'm going to concentrate on the first piece to start off with. So I'm going to extend that dart down and close that dart and move it into the armhole. I'm going to cut down. Close the dart. So I'm going to move it into my armhole, and then I'm going to through the dart so that I can then shape it round into the style line. So I'm going to bring it back, reshape, redraw those dart legs. And then draw my style line into my dart at the bottom. And then I can now draw in my neckline. So I'm going to keep it where it is on the center front, but I'm going to take it across and cut out some of the shoulder. So that is the center of the shoulder. Now I'm going to take it across. Now this is sleeveless. I'm just going to slim the shoulder off across slightly. So it'll give me a thinner strap. And be able to see the top of the shoulder come out as well. So that now is my new line across. So on the back, again, I'm going to ignore the shoulder dart and just reshape that armhole just to start off with, because I'm going to reshape it anyway to match up with the front. But I'm going to leave the back as it is again and bring that neckline across. So I'm going to cut the shape of the front so I can match it with the back. So I'm matching my original matching my original shoulder with the end point, noting that I've just reshaped for it to match him. So my neckline is coming up to that point. So I'm keeping it so with this one, I don't want it to go back up like that because it won't look right, and at the back it'll then have a shape like that, and that's not what I'm trying to achieve. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the neckline down slightly because obviously the front of the neck is lower anyway. So I'm just going to drop it down nicely so that I can get a nice curve on there and up into the shoulder. So now the shoulders match. I'm going to reshape the armhole back in, which will give me some nice thinner straps. And then I'm going to draw in a style line for this. I'm just going to curve it around slightly and bring it back into that point. So the back will be cut 2. The side panel will also be cut 2. Put some balance marks on there. The front panel will be cut on the fold, and the front side panel will be cut 2 also. So right now it looks a little bit confusing, so let me cut it all up into the proper pieces and you will see. So there you've got your wide neck, smaller shoulder, and so that's your front and your back, and then there you've got, that's what you design that side. So there's your design, and then that's your back there and your front pieces there. Okay, so I've got one more to show you, and that is a square neck. So square neckline at the front, square neckline at the back, and the fullness from the shoulders is going into the waist dart. So I need one more sheet to show you, which I'll just get out, I won't be a second. So again, before we start anything, we will transfer the dart around. So bring it down to the bust point. Close the dart up. So I'm going to cut right up the middle, because that's where my dart is going into. And then close that dart back up. And then true that dart up on the waist. Big bit of tape there. So you're going to redraw where the apex of the dart is, and it will go to the dart, where the new dart, where the original, where the waist dart was, that's where your dart will come from. And then if we fold the dart, and then cut along to give the base of the dart. So now we've got the dart moved, we can concentrate on the neckline. So I'm going to drop it down slightly, but not too low. And I'm going to bring it across. Now on the design, you can see that the shoulders are quite wide set. So we've taken from the original drawing, if you imagine that there is the neck, we've taken quite a bit back off the original neckline. So I'm going to take this wide, not as wide as this design, but I'm going to take it wider to maybe the middle of the shoulder. So the middle of the shoulder is obviously where my dart is. So I'm going to bring it across. Then from the middle of the shoulder, I'm going to keep it straight, coming down from the shoulder, down. Now, because it is a sleeveless garment as well, I'm going to reshape. I'm going to take a little bit off to show a bit of the shoulder off rather than it come right up to the end. So I'm just going to shape that armhole in there. So that's pretty much the neckline at the front done. So this bit will all come away, and all of the garment is now one piece. So we will cut on the fold. So cut on fold. And then we'll cut that out into two separate pieces. So on the design, we want the two shoulders to meet up. Just before, I'm just going to reshape this shoulder because I just can see through it. Just put my mark on where that goes. So before I cut the actual square neck out, I just wanted to make sure that I'd matched those shoulders up so that they do match up from the original points. So I'm putting my neck point together and bringing it across. Remember, on these patterns I am ignoring my dart, so just squiggle your dart out and then redraw in your armhole. And then Matching up where the shoulders go, so I know where to square my neck off to. So I'm not going to do it as deep on the back. So I'm going to keep it parallel with the center front. So I'm just drawing a line down. And then I don't want to bring it down too low. Oh, go on. We'll go for it a bit. So I'm going to take it across to my center front, center back even. That's my center back. I'm using my dart on the back as well. So all of that piece will we'll go for cut 2 with this fastening down the back. So cut 2. Sorry about the noise, I've got children. So if I cut round these pieces. So there you've got the front and back. Match up those side seams. So you've got your design there. Front and back, and then you've got your front and back design pattern pieces from your design there.